Coming up, on the road and at home with professional bull rider and the Cherokee kid, Ryan Dirteater.
You know, if you're doing what you're meant to be or living your dream, you'll never work a day in your life, and I feel like I'm doing that.
The grit and the glory that keep him coming back for more. It's an emotional bond that continues to shape Native art in the Cherokee Nation.
I think people responded to my art because I was Bill's daughter. I've always been interested in the arts and what he did. To me, he was just Dad, but I was his little shadow. Whatever Dad was doing, I wanted to do too.
We learn how artist Tracey Rabbit is honoring her father, Bill, and is working to continue his legacy. And it's traditional Cherokee food with a twist. How Chef Bradley Dry is honoring his family's legacy in a downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma restaurant.
I'm a really big advocate for eating healthier, and especially within our nation.
The Cherokees.
A thriving American Indian tribe.
Our history.
Our culture.
Our people.
Our future.
The principles of a historic nation.
Sewn into the fabric of a modern world.
Hundreds of thousands strong.
Learning. Growing.
Succeeding.
And steadfast.
In the past, we have persevered through struggle.
But the future is ours to write.
Osiyo.
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 These are the voices of the Cherokee people.
I'm Principal Chief Bill John Baker. Osiyo, and welcome to the Cherokee Nation. We're so proud to share our stories with you. Rodeo.
Osiyo, it's how we say hello in Cherokee. Today we're bringing you the voices of three distinctly different Cherokees, an artist, a chef, and a bull rider. While each of their stories is unique, they're all rooted in their Cherokee heritage. He's the professional bull rider known as the Cherokee Kid. For years, Ryan Dirteater has traveled the country with PBR, trying to win records 8 seconds at a time. But as Ryan tells us, his true love is his home in Cherokee County.
You know, my dad told me one time, he said, son, you can either work 8 hours or 8 seconds, it's up to you. You're going to battle pretty much, it's 8 seconds of war.
He's 25 years old and on top of his game. After going pro as just a senior in high school, Ryan Dirteater is competing 8 seconds at a time to ride in his 8th PBR World Finals event.
I would say you would have to be a little bit different to be a bull rider. Making it a career, I guess, you gotta really love it to do it. It's all I ever done, it's all I ever wanted to be. I wanted to be a cowboy, and I still am today, a cowboy.
But you're an Indian too.
I'm an Indian cowboy. You know, the last name Dirteater, you know, I get that all the time. You know, ask me where my name come from. You know, I'm Native American. You know, it's pretty neat just, you know, being here in Cherokee County also. You know, you're near everybody. And, you know, I love the culture. It's nice really coming out here, and it's relaxing to me. It clears your mind because, you know, bull riding is, you're climbing on animals like this, 1,500, 2,000 pound animals, and your adrenaline's going. And I think it's good just to get away from all that, the city life, and it's good knowing that I've got something back home. You know, say if bull riding don't work out, you know, I got this, I can come back home and raise some cows. And these are good tools to have if you're a bull rider. That way you can work on your form, your technique, and drills to do every day. You know, getting on the caliber bulls I get on every weekend, I'm usually sore when I get home. And I just need body to recover, rest, and I'll just do this. So now we're gonna go, another thing I like to do every day is ride my horse bareback. And I got her tied up, ready to go. And we're gonna go jump some jumps, and pretty much same deal, practice getting up, you know, staying off my butt and setting my hips. I'm 25, hopefully I can do it for 5 more years and then I'll hang it up. You know, I've always wanted to make the PBR finals 10 times or more, and hopefully in this year it'll be 7, and hopefully I can make it 10.
So 8 seconds. Yeah. A lot of people, you know, you think about that. You do all of this work, you know, you train every day, you travel, and it's all for 8 seconds.
Keep it simple, it's just 8 seconds. You really just got to clear your mind and react with the bull, because bulls are, you know, they're animals. They're going to do whatever they can to get you off your back. It's a tough mental sport. You got to be mentally ready, you know, physically ready also, but you can easily psych yourself out when you're crawling on the back of one. Getting off is the hard part. Riding is, I'd like to say, is the easiest part. Getting off, because I want to make sure my get off not horrible. That's how I tore my last ACL. Yeah, major injuries, broke my femur, dislocated my knee, jaw. I got a long list of them. Got scars all over the place, tore my tricep, and got a big old scar here. You know, my knee's all banged up. And, you know, if it was any other sport, I'd probably be done. But bull riding, you're hanging on. There's not a whole lot of running. That's one thing I wish that wouldn't have happened, but it's part of it. And it really, I really learned a lot from it all. You know, sitting at home, seeing all my buddies, you know, and they're all doing good, and I'm sitting at home on the couch in the bed watching them. I was happy for them, but I won right out of $100,000 in a month there after I came back from all that.
1 month?
Yeah.
That's not bad work.
So that's not too bad, but which I set out for a long time, and it was a pretty good month for me, and you know, it's been ups and downs. I know I've been through a lot of adversity, but you know, I just fought my way through it, and I'm back doing what I love.
Well, a lot of people think, you know, bull riders are crazy. I mean, people die riding bulls.
Yeah, but you know, people die driving down the road too. It's when it's your day, it's your day. Just better be ready.
You feel like you're living your dream?
Yeah, I feel like I am. You know, if you're doing what you're meant to be or living your dream, you'll never work a day in your life, and I feel like I'm doing that.
What's going through your mind right before you get on a bull?
Before I get on him, I'm focused on just the little things. You know, keep my chin down, staying in the middle, be ready for anything. Getting on the stationary barrel, horses bareback, getting on practice bulls if you have to, working out, you're ready to go. But when I slide down on the chute, I like to just clear my mind, you know, just take a deep breath, you know, exhale, inhale, get everything right, put my hand on the bull rope, side up, and just let it out and go. After you step off a bull and know you made a great ride, you hear the fans screaming your name. Your adrenaline's going. You're on top of the world at that moment.
Throughout his career, he's gone by the moniker of the Cherokee Kid. But guess what? With that ride, the kid's grown up.
The Cherokee Nation is proud to have so many talented artists representing our culture to the world. Many of those artists' creations span generations. Bill Rabbit was one of those artists, and today his daughter Tracey is continuing that legacy.
Less than 1% of artists make their sole living at their art. It can be a little bit more difficult. It's not a regular paycheck, so we're always looking towards the next show. And I've got 3 days sometimes at that show that I'm at to sell to pay the bills for a whole month. And it can be pretty intimidating and pretty scary. My name is Tracey Rabbit, and I'm a full-time Cherokee artist. I'm Bill and Karen Rabbit's daughter. This is a studio where me and my dad worked for many years, and he's no longer with us, but we continue to do our thing here. We have a little memorial still to my dad. This was actually the last painting that he was working on, along with his Cherokee National Treasure Award. You know, honestly, he was about 10 artists in one body. I've always been interested in the arts and what he did. 14, I probably got on my first plane by myself to fly to Santa Fe Indian Market during August. He would fly me to his major shows, and you see all these people coming in and wanting his signature on prints and different things. And to me, he was just Dad, but I was his little shadow. Whatever Dad was doing, I wanted to do too. I think people responded to my art because I was Bill's daughter. As you grow older, you want people to recognize your work and not say you're copying your father's work. I would actually say my first strong influence would have been Dana Tiger. And I admired Dana's work and the strength that she showed in her work. And then I liked the softness of my dad's work. And I feel that the women that I paint are maybe a combination. Some stronger than others, some softer than others. I believe my work is coming full circle in the fact that in the beginning, I wanted to do anything but use his technique of painting. Towards the end of his time here, we did a lot of collaborative work because I think he was already thinking way into the future that he wanted to leave a legacy. After somebody's gone, art is forever. And that's how we learn about other cultures. My mom told me one time, she said, the day you were born, your dad took you and never let you go. We were very like-minded. You meet that person and you have so much in common that it's just joy to be around that person. That's what it was like for me. In one of the last interviews my dad gave, and at the very end of the interview, he says, when I die, I hope God puts me in charge of painting rainbows. And I was here in the studio right here, and I could really feel him here with me. And of course I could hear him say, come on, we gotta get busy. You got work to do. And I was inspired by the rainbow. And I did this profile of a Native woman kind of looking up, to the sky with all these beautiful colors dripping behind her. I titled it, I Feel His Presence. And when my mom walked into the studio, I had it on the easel, and she just started crying. And she said, your dad was with you. Here at the studio now, we are an all-encompassing studio. It was something that me and Dad had strived for years, to be self-sufficient here. My dad was always a long-term thinker. He always thought way ahead. He saw early on the value of reproductions. So with reproductions, you're able to survive those ebbs and flows, those ups and downs in the economy. We do ceramic art tiles, coffee mugs, mouse pads, ornaments, Jacquet reproductions. Just very, very proud of where that's headed and the doors that it's opening for our art, and also being a made in the USA native product. It's a rarity. I think you always have to reinvent yourself, whether it's in art or any career. You get asked the question, well, what's the best painting you have done? And I think in most artists' mind, it's always that next one that we're going to do. When we're creating, you're sharing a little bit of your soul in every piece that you do.
In 1847, the Cherokee Nation built the Cherokee Female Seminary in Park Hill near Tahlequah. It hadn't even been 10 years since the tribe was forced to relocate here following the Trail of Tears. The boarding school was the first institution of higher learning for women west of the Mississippi. The Cherokee Female Seminary educated thousands of Cherokees, and even non-Indian families clamored to send their daughters there. Studies included Latin, botany, chemistry, physics, and music. Tragically, on Easter Sunday in 1887, the school burned to the ground. But less than a year later, in 1888, the Cherokee Nation rebuilt the school on what is now the campus of Northeastern State University in Tahlequah. It's still a centerpiece of the campus today. The female seminary was a major contributor to the high literacy rates of Cherokee citizens, and by the 1890s, Cherokee literacy was higher than those of Arkansas or Texas. 3 columns from the female seminary survived that fire and are now part of the Cherokee Heritage Center in Park Hill, serving as a reminder of the school's presence there and creating a dramatic entrance for the center's thousands of visitors every year.
Jalagi Iniwoni Hi. Let's talk Cherokee. First phrase in English. What is your name? Gado de Jadoan. What is your name? Gado de Jadoan. My name is Dawadoan Hian. My name is Dagwadoan Hian.
Food is a big part of Cherokee traditions, from wild onions to knuchi. But a chef in Tulsa is reimagining Cherokee dishes using healthier ingredients, some from his own backyard.
It comes back to like when I'm cooking, I feel like I'm, honoring my family, and sometimes I feel like, like someone in my family would be like, hey, don't add that, or I just keep that in the back of my mind. I just feel like I've kind of an ambassador for my family, by cooking. So from a little town in Northeast Oklahoma, Kansas, Oklahoma, I think we're up to 600 people now. I think it was 400 when I was young, when I was still living there at the time. Everybody was related, so yeah, you had to go to the next town to meet people. Yeah. So my bike is the way I get around town everywhere. I go grocery shopping using my bike. I mean, biking is definitely one of my favorite things to do, and it allows me to go throughout all of Tulsa and find all these, natural foods everywhere. And I noticed all these traditional plants and everything growing around Tulsa, and I just started from there and try to be self-sufficient. And if I need, mustard greens, there's pulp greens I could go get instead for free. We also have variations of acorns lying around that you can make soup out of. But yeah, if you just shuck these, or you can just mash them up a little bit and then add them to soup, which is, it's kind of a flavor you really wouldn't expect. It's kind of buttery. These are the wild garlic. They're looking like they're getting a little old, so I like to try to pick them as soon as I can. These little ones are good. I like to put them in salads, like fresh salads. The onions will be out later, and then they're a lot darker than this. And they grow taller also. I'm a really big advocate for eating healthier, and especially within our nation, because diabetes is such a killer. I really like to take our traditional foods and go a healthier way with it, and just something that people would still want to eat, even though it's not the same way they cooked it. Just a very healthier way of eating it. For instance, at Chimera, I cook Indian tacos, but instead of frying them, I use a pizza stone in the oven and get it as hot as I can. And it just, like, within 2 minutes, it puffs up, you know, because the heat's so intense. So that's a healthier way to eat fry bread, so it's more baked bread. I had my great aunt come in one time, like the only time she's been in downtown Tulsa. She tried the Indian taco I made, and she told me it was good, so I guess I did something right, you know, even though it wasn't, you know, deep fried. So being able to represent the Cherokee Nation with what I do, I feel like I would be making our nation proud, because I'm trying to make it healthier. You know, I try to cook some of this food. It definitely reminds me of being back home with my family. And I mean, they're only like an hour and a half away, but still just not being able to make it to like family dinners all the time, you know, that could be tough sometimes. So even though my grandmother, who passed away, who taught me how to cook, I still feel like it's me kind of honoring her memory, and it just makes me feel more connected to my family. Even if I'm not cooking for them, I'm cooking for strangers. I like that because I feel like I'm using something that my family taught me to feed others. I just like making people happy, and if it's, like I said, if it's something that I enjoy so much that someone else can enjoy, then that makes me really happy.
We hope you enjoyed our show. And remember, you can always watch entire episodes and share your favorite stories online at Osio.tv. There is no Cherokee word for goodbye, because we know we'll see you again. So until next time, Rodeo.
With breathtaking views along the scenic Illinois River, the excitement of a traditional game of stickball, and the vibrant history and culture of the largest Native American tribe in the United States, Cherokee Passport is your all-access pass to adventure. It's your turn to explore the 66,000 acres that make up Cherokee Nation. From the natural beauty of our lakes and rivers to engaging cultural attractions, there is history and beauty around every corner. The Cherokee National Supreme Court Museum. It's the oldest government building in the state of Oklahoma, built in 1844, not long after the Cherokees' forced removal into Indian Territory. Along with the Cherokee National Supreme Court, this historic building housed the printing press of the Cherokee Advocate, the first newspaper in Oklahoma. Today, visitors to the museum learn about the early establishment of Cherokee governance and see firsthand how Oklahoma's oldest newspaper was created. The Cherokee National Prison Museum. Built in 1875, the Cherokee National Prison Museum offers visitors a glimpse into the unique history of Indian Territory. During the tumultuous years of 1875 to 1901, this was the only prison in all of Indian Territory. Today, visitors to the museum learn about infamous outlaws, the wrongfully accused, and can view a replicated 19th century jail cell. The John Ross Museum and Ross Cemetery. The John Ross Museum highlights the life of John Ross, perhaps the most well-known principal chief of the Cherokee Nation. The museum houses exhibits on the Trail of Tears, the Civil War, the Cherokee Golden Age, and about Cherokee Nation's passion for the education of its people since time immemorial. Next to the museum, the historic Ross Cemetery, the burial place of Principal Chief John Ross and his family, numerous high-ranking leaders of the Cherokee Nation, and several survivors of the Trail of Tears. Sequoia's Cabin Museum. Located in Sallisaw, Oklahoma, Sequoia's Cabin Museum was renovated by Cherokee Nation in 2017. Renowned Cherokee statesman and inventor of the Cherokee syllabary, Sequoia built this one-room log cabin in 1829. Surrounded by a lush 10-acre park, visitors to the museum will find relics and documents associated with Sequoia's life and learn more about the revolutionary Cherokee syllabary. The Cherokee Heritage Center. Built in 1967, the Cherokee Heritage Center includes the Cherokee National Museum, where visitors learn the tribe's history from our original homelands in the southeastern United States to present-day Oklahoma. Visitors can also take a living history tour through Dilligwa, a traditional Cherokee village set in the year 1710. Also on site, Adams Corner Rural Village, the Cherokee Family Research Center, Cherokee National Archives, and a gift shop. Ready to discover the Cherokee Nation for yourself? Learn more about the Cherokee Passport at visitcherokeenation.com and receive admission to 5 Cherokee Nation museums and more.
In the Cherokee Nation, news happens every day.
Cherokee Nation's economic impact on the state of Oklahoma now exceeds $2 billion.
The dollars that are generated here are creating jobs.
It benefits everyone. Creating headlines.
The new 469,000 square foot health facility is the result of the largest joint venture agreement ever.
For the people of the Cherokee Nation, and will impact them for generations to come.
Creating opportunities.
Cherokee Nation employees can now take 8 weeks of paid maternity leave.
We have lots of young mothers and young families, and this is something that's very exciting.
This year, the tribe awarded $5 million to superintendents from about 100 public school districts.
When it comes to education, we're all in it together.
Creating a better place to call home.
The Wilma P. Mankiller Health Center in Stillwell, Oklahoma nearly doubled in size.
That this absolutely will make a tremendous impact on the quality of life.
That's going to provide more jobs.
For more Cherokee Nation news, visit onadiskoe.com.